How many times have you been told that you're selfish for choosing what's best for you? How many times have you felt that heavy weight of guilt after making a decision that only benefited your well-being? They'll say it's wrong. They'll say you should have thought about everyone else first. But let me ask you this. When was the last time they put your happiness before theirs? When was the last time they truly understood what you needed? Here's the truth. You're not here to please everyone. You're not here to sacrifice your peace for the comfort of others. You did what was right for you, and you shouldn't feel guilty for it. In a world that constantly demands more from you, there comes a point where you have to choose yourself. And if that means walking away from people, situations, or expectations that drain you, then so be it. But why does it feel so wrong? Why does the guilt crawl in, telling you that your decision was a betrayal? Because the world is conditioned to make you feel bad for standing up for your own needs. But ask yourself, who else will stand up for you if not you? The truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you don't put yourself first, no one will. Today, we're going to break free from that guilt, because what you did was not just right, it was necessary. It's easy to feel like a villain when you put yourself first. Society loves to glorify selflessness, to make us believe that sacrificing our own needs for the sake of others is the only true form of love and care. They tell us that choosing ourselves makes us cold, heartless, or even cruel. But what if everything they've been telling you is wrong? What if true love, true care, and true strength lie in knowing when to say no, not just to others, but to the parts of ourselves that have been conditioned to feel guilty for taking up space? Let me ask you, how many times have you been exhausted, drained, broken, but still pushed yourself to help others? How many times have you sacrificed your time, your energy, your happiness, just to avoid disappointing someone else? You're not alone in that. We've all been there. We've all had that moment when we've said yes to others at the cost of our own well-being. We've all convinced ourselves that we should put ourselves last because somehow that's what makes us worthy. But that's the lie. Think about the last time you felt guilty for doing something that was best for you. Maybe it was cutting ties with toxic people. Maybe it was leaving a job that drained you. Maybe it was saying no to something that didn't align with your truth. And maybe, just maybe, you were criticized for it. They'll say, you're being selfish. You should have stayed. You should have given more. You should have cared more. But let's get something clear. It's not selfish to protect your peace. It's not selfish to choose a path that nurtures your growth. It's not selfish to take care of your mental, emotional, and physical well-being. The conflict comes in when the voices around us, those who have always benefited from our kindness, our generosity, and our willingness to sacrifice, suddenly turn on us. They don't understand. They don't see the toll it's taken on us. They don't understand why we chose to walk away, why we chose to prioritize our needs over theirs. And here's the kicker. They won't understand, and they shouldn't, because this decision isn't about them. This decision is about you. It's about breaking the chains of guilt, shame, and obligation that have bound you for far too long. It's about realizing that your happiness, your growth, and your peace matter just as much as anyone else's. But this conflict is not just external, it's internal too. Deep down, we're all conditioned to feel bad for choosing ourselves. That voice inside you that says, you shouldn't have done that. You should have been more compassionate, more understanding, more patient. That's the voice you need to silence. Because it's not the truth. It's the echo of years of being told that our needs don't matter, that our boundaries are too high, that our dreams are too big. But now you have the power to silence that voice. You have the strength to say, I've done what was right for me. It might feel like a battle at first, but it's a battle worth fighting. The path to liberation, to self-respect, to the life you deserve, starts the moment you decide to stop apologizing for choosing yourself. The conflict lies in the moments where you face the harshest criticisms, both from others and from within. But the true power is in choosing to listen to your inner voice, the one that knows you're worthy of peace, worthiness, and growth. And when you stand firm, you'll realize that all the guilt that once held you back was never yours to carry in the first place. Here's the revelation that you've been avoiding. The moment you stop apologizing for doing what's right for you, the world doesn't collapse. In fact, it does the opposite. It makes space for your true self to emerge. Everything you've been running from, everything you've been fearing, is nothing but a mirage. The guilt, the self-doubt, the shame, they were all lies designed to keep you small. And now that you've had the courage to choose yourself, you're awakening to something greater than you could have ever imagined. This is the turning point. You don't need anyone's permission to prioritize yourself. You don't need anyone to validate your decisions. The moment you recognize that your choices are yours alone, and that they were the right ones, you gain an unshakable confidence. You stop waiting for someone to tell you that what you did was okay. You stop needing their approval because you now understand that your peace is worth more than their opinions. The only person you need to answer to is yourself. Yes, what was once a source of guilt transforms into a well of strength. The very decision that caused you sleepless nights and self-criticism becomes the key to your freedom. You realize that every time you chose yourself, despite the guilt and backlash, you were stepping into your true power. You begin to see clearly that the path you've taken, the one that felt so isolating and difficult, is the path that leads to your highest potential. It's like the moment when you look back at the storm you've just weathered and realize that you're standing taller, stronger, and wiser. You thought you would break, but instead, you've been forged in fire. You didn't fail. You didn't lose. In fact, you've gained more than you could have ever imagined. You've gained your peace. You've gained your autonomy. You've gained your life back. And here's the most powerful realization. The guilt never served you. It never protected you, never made you a better person, never brought you closer to your goals. It only kept you chained to the expectations of others, to the idea that your worth is defined by how much you're willing to give, how much you're willing to suffer. But now, with the burden of guilt lifted, you see that your worth was never defined by sacrifice. Your worth was always inherent. You were always enough. Now the storm is over, and what's left is a quiet strength, the kind that only comes when you stop fighting for validation and start fighting for your own well-being. You're no longer bound by the fear of rejection, the fear of being seen as selfish, or the fear of disappointing others. You've set yourself free, and in doing so, you've opened the door to a new life, a life that's not dictated by guilt or the expectations of others, but one that's shaped by your own choices, your own power, and your own truth. It's time to accept that you did what was right for you, and that's more than enough. You're standing on the edge of something incredible. The guilt is gone, the shame is gone. All that's left now is the life you've been waiting for, the life that you deserve. And as you walk forward, you'll realize that this is only the beginning. Now that the storm of guilt and doubt has passed, you stand at the threshold of a new chapter in your life. The weight you've carried, that crushing burden of constantly needing to justify your decisions, is gone. What remains is clarity. What remains is the strength to keep moving forward, unshaken by the opinions of others or the fear of future criticism. You have learned that your well-being is not negotiable, and this is the foundation upon which you will build your future. You've proven to yourself that you are capable of making the hard choices, the ones that will keep you aligned with your truth. And the moment you chose yourself over the pressure to conform or please others, you set into motion a powerful transformation. Every time you make a decision from a place of self-respect, you reinforce your worth. You no longer seek validation from those who don't understand. You no longer bend yourself out of shape to fit someone else's narrative of who you should be. You've stopped asking for permission to be yourself, and in doing so, you've stepped into the most powerful version of you. The version of you who adores the gifts of self-discovery. The road ahead may not always be easy, and there may still be moments of doubt. But with every step forward, you will remember that you've already done the hardest thing. You've chosen yourself. And once you've done that, everything else becomes possible. You'll face challenges with resilience, knowing that you have the strength to navigate through them. You will embrace your journey, unburdened by guilt, with the understanding that putting yourself first is not only necessary, it's vital. Your peace, your growth, and your happiness are now yours to protect. No more second guessing, no more feeling guilty. You did what was right for you, and that makes all the difference. You're not just surviving anymore, you're living. And that is more than enough. Now it's time for you to take action. Don't let this moment slip by without making a commitment to yourself. You've already come so far, but this is just the beginning. Start today by owning your decisions. Stand firm in the choices you make, and remind yourself every single day that putting yourself first is not selfish. It's necessary. Take a moment to reflect on the things you've been holding back out of guilt. The things that you've sacrificed for others at the expense of your own peace. Reconcile yourself to separation. Let go of the weight. Let go of the need to justify yourself to anyone. The world will always have opinions. People will always have their expectations. But your life is yours. So, I challenge you to embrace the power within you and live without apology. Choose your peace. Choose your growth. And choose yourself unapologetically. And as you step into your truth, don't just let it be an internal change. Share it with the world. Show them that you're no longer bound by guilt, that you've broken free from the chains of self-doubt. It's time to show up for yourself and let the world witness your transformation. So if this message resonated with you, don't just let it end here. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Let's create a movement of people who choose themselves, who understand their worth, and who will no longer be held back by guilt. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.